Bonjour everyone, I'm Camille Razat. You may know me from Emily in Paris. We're absolutely thrilled to have you all tuning in live for the talk show with Alber, Elbaz and friends. Hello, Alber.
uh, you made it and you came to host this show. First of all, we're all huge fan of yours from Emily in Paris, and that series came in such an amazing moment that nobody could travel, nobody could come to see Paris, and you gave all of us like a beautiful glimpse of dream to see Paris again and how beautiful city it is. But again, Paris is not the same without all of you around the world. So we miss you here in Paris. And Camille, I wanted to come and sit with you in the studio, but for safety reason, I thought that it's maybe important. First of all, I'm always with a mask. And secondly, I thought that for all the people around the studio, it would be more safe at this time to be more careful. So I am not with you physically, but I'm with you with my heart. And thank you, thank you. But you see, if I was next to you, I would give you a big, big hug. So it's maybe better that it's just a virtual hug. As you know, we opened yesterday. We had our launch for Fazy Factory, and instead of doing a fashion show, we did a show fashion. And maybe before we start and before we introduce the other three guests that are beautiful, smart, talented women, and I feel like Charlie and his three angels, and actually four angels, we will show you just a short clip of our show fashion last night. Here we go. Go. Wow. We actually made this film. It was the first week of January. It was right after Christmas, and between Christmas and pandemic, trust me, it was the biggest task of my life to make it happen. But I want to introduce the three amazing women that are coming and said okay to give some of their time to speak. So it's Kristin Scott Thomas, Rachel Khoo, and Charlie Howard. So thank you so, so much. I'm not very good in being Barbara Walters, but I'm loving women, and so it will be just a talk between us. Each one of you is an expert in her domain, and it will be amazing that we spent like half an hour together to speak about um, the liaison between fashion and acting and food and fashion. And especially today, more than ever with Charlie, we'll talk also about body positivity and diversity, that it's such an important issue and we are all there because we care. So maybe we start with Christine. And hi, Christine.
Hello, Alber. It's so nice to see you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for having me on your little team. It's really
Thank
good to
you.
see you back making beautiful clothes for us because we've made quite a
Right.
lot. I mean, you've made quite a lot for me, haven't you, in the
I
past?
just went through yesterday, I think I went through Google and I realized how many dresses and how many clothes. And I remember you came to my Legion d'honneur. And you know what? It's not
Yes.
that I just do dresses for you, but you were a loyal friend that you came to the Legion d'honneur. You came for my Christmas windows when we did this big event. I think it
Yeah.
was for Galerie Lafayette. We
Yeah.
dressed you for the Cannes Film Festival.
Many
Um,
times, many times,
exactly.
and for the Golden Globes, and yeah, many times.
And
But
you know, it's always,
what?
sorry.
No, I was going to say, but and I became completely. I just sort of trusted you with with making a dress that was going to be. Um, uh, which was going to make this event not an ordeal as they usually are, but an absolute pleasure because you feel so great when you're wearing those kind of dresses. I remember one in particular, which was a royal blue pleated, sort of like a goddess dress with a long train, and it matched the color of the sea. And it was at the Cannes Film Festival, and the two colors, the red carpet and the blue dress, the sea behind me. I just felt like sent from above.
Well, you are. But you know, Kristin, yesterday when I was watching all these photos, and there were so many different dresses, but you know what? I always saw you before I
Yeah,
saw the dresses.
yeah,
And I think that, I mean, we talked today about women and the changes that women are going in the world and the important changes that are going on and how we are more aware of the need of changes. And I think that it's such an amazing thing that even yesterday in the show fashion we had, we asked women to speak, not only to model. And you see, I don't call them model, but I call them women because we wanted to hear their voices. Because I think that more than ever, you have a voice and you have a beautiful voice. And I'm not talking just about singing, but about saying who and what you're all about. And also with all the dresses that I saw that you were wearing from us, and it wasn't just red carpet; it was different event.
oh no,
I
lots
saw,
of different things. Yeah.
and that's what made me even more happy. You know, I'm one of those that everything I do, I think it's not beautiful a second after I'm done. But it took me some time to look at it, and I saw it, and I said it's beautiful. But Kristen is even more beautiful. So
Oh,
here I said it.
well, I think the one of the ways to create the impression that one is a beautiful person is to be wearing something that makes you feel free and strong. And those are the kind of dresses that you make. They make you free and strong. Especially these new fabrics that you've got. They're amazing.
Yes, you know, Christine, free and strong, and I will add also comfort, because
Yeah.
for me, comfort is maybe the one definition beside beauty, because we all miss beauty. I think that this year, I mean, had been so difficult that all we're looking for is to find beauty again, to have a hug. But more than anything, yes, this project that we did yesterday, and we worked for about a year to make one dress, and it was not about a collection, and it was not about 400 pieces, but it was about 10 black dresses that we start with. And I thought that those dresses are, I mean, the black dress in the wardrobe of women are the most essential piece. This is like the foundation. But then I was looking for a purpose. What is the purpose to buy one more dress? And I've been working for 1 year with 3 different factories and laboratory around the world to see how I can create an anatomical dress that when you wear it, you will feel that it was just done for you, with sleeves that are ergonomic, that we have perforation for breathability, that we have that zipper in the back that has this pull, so you can
Yeah.
dress up and said, honey, I can do it myself. And you don't need that help. And more than anything is to create a dress with 13 different stretch. So there are areas that I'm hugging you, and there will be area that I will be actually liberating you. And I said that
Yeah.
the whole top part of the dresses, I actually liberated because I didn't want to squeeze women's hearts. So
Yeah.
here we go.
It's very lovely.
And you're actually
And I've had,
wearing one of these pieces today.
I am. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the asymmetric thing. That's always been one of my favorite shapes, an asymmetric. It's very mysterious.
You know that we are all
But
asymmetrics. Our body
sorry,
is
what?
built. Our
Oh
body is
yeah,
totally asymmetric.
yeah. I found that out as well. But I was listening to your conversation earlier, and I was very interested to hear about the use of like corsetry in the back of the dress, how that sort of supports and pushes forward almost. That it instead of being encased and restricted, you're supported and propelled. I love the idea of that. It's very
You know,
exciting.
I've been watching, the time I took off fashion, it was a long time, it was 5 years, and I had to take some time to think about the past, to question the present, and to try to imagine the future. And I look back at the history of fashion, and I look at all these fashion designer that we call them at the time couturier, and they all wear this white robe, and they don't look like designers. They look like scientists, they look like
Yeah,
doctors, and the clients around them had no social distance. They were so
yeah,
close. And then I went back and I had the time to go back to the structure and of clothes, of corsets. And I know that, I mean, fashion put women in corset for so many years. And
mm,
first of all, you ask yourself, how does it feel to wear a corset? I never wore
mm,
a corset, but I did it for many different women for different
yeah,
occasions. And one of the exercise we did, and we're a factory, but we're also a little bit of a laboratory. We took the bones that are always put in the front of the corset that actually pushes you up. And I said, what happened if I take it out and I put it in the back? And instead of pushing you, I will maybe give you some support. And you know what inspires me in fashion? I'm not always inspired by word or by vintage clothes, but I'm
hmm
inspired by words. Words really or stories make me dream. So when I just think about the idea that this dress can actually support you and not pushes you, that is the dress I imagine.
yeah,
And now when I work with my team and I said, let's go and create a dress that support and not pushes you, it's very abstract as a starting point because it's
yeah,
easier to say, let's do Marilyn Monroe in the
yeah.
50s in an acid party. But we work like a laboratory.
That's really interesting.
So, Christine, I know that you have to go because you're rushing to a big
Yep.
event that uh, you
Never
said that you
stop.
have to never stop. That's great. That's a good thing to never stop. So thank you so much, Christine.
Thank you. I can't
And
wait to give you a proper hug.
me too. I'm tired of virtual hugs.
Yeah.
So big
Soon.
hug and hug. And thank you so much for coming by.
It was a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Bye bye.
And now we go to Rachel Khoo. Hi, Rachel.
Hello.
Hello,
Golly,
hello.
what am I doing here? I'm in snowy Stockholm, and we're talking virtually. It's amazing. I'm wearing this amazing dress. Look at these sleeves.
You know what? I saw them for so long. I mean, and if you touch the sleeve, you'll see that there is nothing inside that holds them. You see, usually in order to get that volume, we have to put all these inside parts. But this is part of our technique of creating this new stretch that is stiff in certain area, and that's why we could give all this volume. Rachel, I'm so happy to meet you. I know your last name is Khoo, which is the name of my partner. So as I said before, we might be relatives, and we didn't know about
But yeah, I mean, like, it's amazing. I must say, in terms of cooking, it's great to have your arms free here because, like, if you're whisking, you don't want to have a long sleeve. It's not going to work. So I've got a lovely bit of volume here, holding me in. I'm slightly popping out actually. So I'm not sure I could wear this like for my usual cooking, but it's really fun to wear something I wouldn't normally wear. And I like how it fits in all the right places.
I'm so happy to see that you look good and you can cook with the dress, and maybe one day you'll have to make me dinner wearing that dress. And I hope it won't be just Rachel. I love to eat, and I always compare food and fashion. Um, to begin with, I have to be honest, and I eat a lot out. But during this year, I discovered that I have a kitchen at home, and I actually go to the kitchen every other hour and eat something because I want to make sure that I never lost my taste. Also for other health reason. But I always said that fashion, we are dealing here with tradition and with old recipes that we want to preserve, like in fashion, like in high fashion. It's all about preserving heritage. And I always said that we don't have to break those recipes, but maybe just to cut the butter and to make it more relevant. How do you feel about it? Do you think that cutting the butter will kill the recipe?
I really believe, like you do with your fashion and I do with my cooking, is that you can do whatever you want if it makes you feel good. Because for me, cooking is all about making the person who's eating it feel good. And I think that's what clothes can do as well. It can make you feel a certain thing. So with my food, I want to bring enjoyment and pleasure. And I think, wearing this dress, I feel like really it's fun. It's like it puts a smile on my face, and that's what I want clothes and as well as my food to have for me. That kind of feeling. I mean, who wants to feel miserable? I hate miserable food, and I don't want my fashion to be miserable either. So I think
Someone from the fashion industry once told me that actually fashion is like roasted chicken. You just have to eat it and to enjoy it. There is nothing else. And I mean, I love food, but I adore fashion. But I've been seeing that, I read a little bit just part of your curriculum, and I saw that you're the most multifaceted person I know. You've been doing absolutely everything. You came from art and design, and then you've been cooking and cordon bleu, and you've been an au pair, and you sell perfume, and now you're an editor and you write books. And I'm like, wow, where did you find all this stuff, that stuff?
So for me, in essence, I'm a creative person, and I just basically pick my medium which I want to use to communicate my message. And food at the moment is the way I communicate my ideas and my message. But it might be through a book, it might be through a TV show, it might be through my illustrations, it might be through an event. So I think with most creative people, and I certainly can see it with your work, it's you want to communicate an idea. You want to share a story, isn't it? It's all about storytelling in one way.
Mm. But the fact that you work with perfume, did it do anything to you, to the way you cook? Are you more sensitive to the scents, to the perfume? I mean, I'm sure that everything we do, I believe in karma. I believe that we do things for a reason. What did the perfume give you to the way you work today? Is it there?
Well, I guess
Do you smell before
so.
you eat?
So I think what perfume is it's a very intense experience. If you think about it, because there's a lot of stimulus in terms of the senses you get in one hit. And I always think, most sophisticated perfumes are layered, so you get different notes. And so food is a bit like that. You want to layer the experience, not just in terms of taste and a smell, it's also texture and, the whole experience. So I like to layer my food.
You know, my mother used to say that success is like perfume. We can only smell but never drink.
I won't tell you what my dad said about perfume. It wasn't as
Please
polite.
don't. Anyway, so how do you
I,
feel in that dress, Rachel? How do you feel in the dress?
so when I first tried it on, I was like, ooh, it immediately, you kind of grow, like your posture, because it gives you kind of, you're not the hunchback from Notre Dame, you know, like this kind of thing. You want to stand tall. You know, you kind of, I think I've grown a couple of centimeters. You have a better posture. I feel like if I walk into a room, everybody's going to take notice of me. They're like, look at my shoulders.
And do you feel comfortable with it? Besides
Yes.
being beautiful.
No, because the fabric is kind of familiar in terms of, even though I haven't worn it before, but it feels familiar. It's not like scratchy or, it feels familiar in some way, like almost like, where you're really comfortable yoga pants. I say that, sorry. Like yeah, I don't know, did a fashion faux pas there, but it's kind of, it feels familiar in the sense that I feel comfortable in it.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. Wow. Rachel, thank you so much for coming. What are you going to cook tonight?
My husband is cooking tonight, so I've got the night off.
Great. Okay, Rachel, big hug, and
Big hug.
I'm really looking forward to meet you in person. And thank you
Yeah.
for being here in our AZ show together. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Gros bisous. Bye-bye.
Bye. Charli Howard, how are you?
I'm good.
Very, very good. Good. I want you to say anything you want about you love the dress and I love you and I love what you do. And I've been such an admirer for what you write and why you write it and being a model and struggling and telling the truth. And sometimes today we're living in a moment that we cannot always say what we think because it's almost scaring. And you've been so honest about everything you said about how you felt and why you felt. And when I read, I didn't read the whole book yet because I just started 2 days ago, and I'm a bit dyslexic, so it takes me some time to read fast. But I was really with you, and I think we need more voices like yourself.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I think, being honest and talking about things that maybe, aren't spoken about in fashion or like whatever industry it is super important.
It's super important for you, and I think that also for us. I think that also designers are going through a change because women are changing, men are changing. I think the world is changing, and I think those changes sometimes they're a little bit difficult to adapt to changes because we always prefer to be in a comfort zone. But I think how boring it is to be in the same place, and how wonderful that things are changing. How do you feel
No,
fashion is changing today for
yeah, I
you?
mean, I look back at modeling and how it was even 10 years ago, and the fact that now, we've got these designs and this fabric that are being created for so many different body shapes and types, and that just wasn't a thing. Like in the early 2000s, you know, you had to look a very certain way, and then that then obviously fed onto the consumer and the people that were buying the products. So yeah, I mean, I think the industry is changing for the best, but I still think we've probably got a bit of a while to go before women feel 100% comfortable in their clothes and stuff. But you know, this, for example, I think is amazing because, you know, it fits so many different body shapes. I'm a very curvy person, as you can see. So, you know, it's nice to feel supported, but it also feels nice to move and not feel like you're being shoved into a piece of clothing, you know?
You know, I just heard what you said about that we need more changes. You know, I took some time off fashion. I took 5 years that I actually did not want to do fashion. And the first thing I asked myself, do we need a revolution? And I knew we don't, because revolution maybe photographs well, but doesn't travel and doesn't last. And actually evolution, we have no patience for it anymore because our digital mind is going too fast. And that's why I thought that reset, sometimes just little changes, and we don't have to break the iPad if it doesn't work, but we just reset and we change a little, and then we change one more things, and we change one more things. But this is where we are today. This is where I am today. It was not about revolution. And you know, the dress that you're wearing, Charlie, was one of the most difficult dresses for me to do. Because, you know, for many, many years, I did very extravagant dresses, and it was really about drape and colors and duchesse and the whole shebang. And all of a sudden, I sat in the studio after 1 year working on the fabric to get that fabric that we worked, because I was more of an engineer. And then I thought, what do I think women want? And I did one 3-hole dress, for instance, and I thought, God, is it too basic? Is it too simple? And then I did your dress, you see, the polo dress. And I thought, how basic is that? I mean, it's almost being a chef of 3-star Guy Michelin and then doing a sandwich. And all of a sudden I felt that all I wanted is a sandwich. And I was looking at all these women around me. I was looking at Michelle Obama in that Netflix series named Becoming. And you see her with like a simple 3-hole dress in black. And all I saw is her, and it was so beautiful. And when I did this dress, it was so basic for me that I added a zipper in the back, you see? And then I thought, if I have a zipper in the front and a zipper in the back, at least women can actually play with their own décolleté. I don't know how to call décolleté, cleavage in
Cleavage, yes.
themselves. So you can create it the way you want. You want it closed, you want it open, but it's you. It's you that decide how much and where and why. And I think for designers like myself, it was an interesting moment, because I felt sometime that all I wanted now is just the most simple things, but also meaningful things. So here, that's the story behind the dress. Why did I add the zipper in the back? Because I thought it was so boring without it. And I said, okay, add the zipper. And all of a sudden, I start seeing women wearing it, and every other woman, because we tried it on different sizes. You know, every fitting that we had, we went from extra small to 4 extra large, and we had different model coming. And I fit myself size after size. And I wanted to make sure that we're not cheating, that I wanted to make sure that it's the perfect size and it's the perfect tension. And it was a real exercise to see all these women come here and said, I feel the dress was almost done just for me. And that was the biggest compliment I could have. And now that I know you, I'm going to follow you on your Instagram.
I'll follow you as well. No, I think it's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us. Do you have any question to ask me, Charlie?
I just want to know how hard it was to design for so many different body shapes? Because I think for a very long time, you know, women were expected to fit into the clothes that were given to them. Whereas, like, what you're doing and what a lot of other designers are doing now is they're designing for women again, you know, like back in the 50s and when fashion really started to happen. So how did that process happen, and did that take a really long time?
It took us a year. It really took us a year to make one fabric that we call it anatomic, because it's anatomic and knitwear. And it was working with 3 different factories and laboratory during pandemic. That was the most difficult thing because, you know, we work with factories that has to close. We work with factories that are working part-time. I mean, DHL is arriving a month later or not arriving. And then when we got the fabric, we started the fitting, and we had different women. We started with the regular size 8 that we do, and then we started to call different women with different sizes. And we learned to listen, I think, as designer. And that's why I think that we went also with dresses that are just sleeveless or a polo or a one shoulder. The fabrics, the material, the exercise we went through, the whole experiment that we went with the factory and the laboratory, that was the way I designed these dresses. And therefore, when it comes to the dress itself, and especially now after pandemic, you know, we wake up every morning and I look at my iPhone and all I see is exit, Brexit, pandemic, another issue that is happening with economy, with politics. And the biggest question is, how do we take all this information and said, okay, but this is a beautiful day. And when you see that everything is so hard and harsh, what do you design? Do you design dark and sad, or you said, no, I'm going to design crazy? So I'm not sure I could design crazy because it didn't fit the moment. But at least I wanted to design, and this is also the part of the show that I shared with you that was about optimism, because this is also what fashion brings. It's almost like medication with no side effect. It's this job that we have to cheer you up, that we have to make you feel beautiful, not only look beautiful. And today you want to have a jogging suit, you want to have a fun pajama, you want to have a dress that you feel comfortable if you have to go out. You want to have, if you feel like, you know, sleeping with your pajama, I call it AZ lazy. And if you want to go out with your pajama, you're AZ crazy if you want to go out. But it's these kind of things that we're designing now for the moment, for what I feel women are living, that we are living. So it was not about sitting in the studio and just say, let's do a fashion show. Let's do something that is good for the photo. But it was all about thinking about women, about what you need, what you might want. How can I help? You know, my dream was to be a doctor, Richie. So that was as close as I could be. So I thank you so much. I know that it was really a mission for us, and I asked to speak with you because your presence was really important for me. And I thank you so much for accepting and coming by. And as I said, I'm going to be a follower now.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. and hi, Camille, as well.
Thank you, Charlie.
And hi, Camille. Now we're back to you.
Now we're back. So, what did you learn from your friends?
First of all, I learned that from my friends and from yourself, from the talk we had also, because we had the Zoom before today, I find how beautiful it is to speak with women, not only to dress them, but to speak with them, to listen, to understand their need today, to understand the state of mind, to understand the lifestyle, to see that women are changing, but it's such a beautiful change. and just to tell you that we are here for you.
Yeah.
What did you
are.
learn from me today, Camille? Did you learn anything from our discussion? What did it do to you to listen to
Well,
all of us?
you know, you wanted to be a doctor before, and that explains
Yeah.
a lot to me because, like, this fabric, it's like almost like being a physician to me because it's really, 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 truly comfortable. And I really love it. And the fact that you were clever enough to put a zipper so you don't need anybody to help you to put a dress is genius. And also, I've seen the show yesterday, and I was like, okay, he's like in the future. He's like doing something for the future. The thing and the fact that the material you use to is like ethical and ecological, it's like a huge impact on the planet, a huge one, because you don't use any water and stuff like that. So what you do as design is amazing, and what you do for the cause for the planet is amazing too. So yeah, I learned stuff.
You know, I'm not always very good receiving compliment. I mean, every time I get a compliment, I feel very uncomfortable. But thank you. And you know, I see that you're wearing our sneakers, and
Yes, I am.
and I love them. And you know, I hear so many women telling me that they love sneakers and it's so comfortable and they can run and they can do everything they need. But I start hearing women telling me that they miss pumps and they miss pumps. And I did ask them, what do you miss about the pumps? And they said, I don't know, it's elongating our leg and it's more sexy. So I said, you know what, let's try. So we went to the factory and we asked if we can make sneakers that are pointy as pumps. So here we are, you see, and you look great, and it's
Thank
nice to
you.
speak with you again. And big fan, and I really wish you all the best. And
Thank
thank you
you.
again for taking the time. And again, I'm so sorry I didn't come and sat next to you
That's
today.
okay. That's
But
okay. Thanks to you
so
for
big
having me.
hug. Thank you so much, Camille. And thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.
Thanks to our guests for joining the show, and thank you all for tuning in to our live broadcast from Paris. AZ Factory is available now to shop on Net-a-Porter. I know you will love it as much as we do. Stay safe.